Hey guys, what's up? It's Ionic and Shara here, and today we're going to be talking about the Sentinax farm and what it is. So, it's an event that was introduced in 7.2. It's located on the Broken Shore, and I'm sure you've noticed already there's a spaceship in the sky, and it randomly chooses a location to invade on the Broken Shore. The ship also shows up on your map, so you can get to it that way. But what's the damn point of this Sentinax thing? If you farm mobs that come out of portals underneath this ship, they'll drop all kinds of goodies, which is basically what we're here for, and that's the gist of the Sentinax farm.
So what do you get from the Sentinax farm? Nether shards are a new currency that came in 7.2. These shards drop from the Sentinax mobs and are used to purchase 880 plus gear, which makes this a great fast track method for gearing up your alts, and they are also used to buy nether shard essences, which is a new material needed to craft the new BOE legendary items. You may want essences for yourself or just to sell in the auction house. That's totally up to you.
And they also have a chance to drop the 101 BOE epics, which sell more than your mom's panties online. So you might, look forward to that. They're pretty nice.
The mobs also have a small chance to drop Blood of Sargeras, Fellslate, and Starlight Rose 2, which is a nice addition to the farm.
They can also drop Legion Cloth, lockboxes, a bunch of shitty trash, and soulbound epics as well.
And most importantly, they drop portal beacons, which you will need to summon more portals so you can continue to farm. But we'll talk more about those beacons and portals later.
Alright, so let's talk about the Sentinax buffs, the nerfs, and the changes, because this thing has been flip-flopped around by Blizzard over the last week and a half. It's hard to keep track. So let's get into what some of these changes are, and hopefully give you guys a better understanding of what's going on. So if we take a look at this chart here, hopefully this will give you a better visual understanding of how the Sentinax farm has evolved over time. So let's break that down a little bit more.
When 7.2 hit, the Sentinax farm was quite bad. The nether shard drop rates were extremely low, and players found that they were able to farm nether shards quicker from killing other random mobs on Broken Shore. Obviously, Blizzard didn't want this, so they nerfed those other nether shard farms while seriously buffing the Sentinax, which shifted players back to farming under the Sentinax ships.
So when Blizzard did buff the Sentinax farm, players figured out how to efficiently farm the Sentinax as a group and were able to obtain upwards of 15,000 nether shards per hour, which is absolutely insane. 70 plus bloods per hour, and a ton of other drops too, since they were able to kill stuff so fast with a geared and organized group. And on top of that, you're also able to pull in an alt and level them very quickly there as well.
But these sweet perks didn't last too long, though. It wasn't long before the Sentinax farm was nerfed, but is still somewhat viable depending on your needs. They nerfed the drop rates of the portal beacon, so you're limited on how many portals, aka mobs, you can summon and kill. You can no longer level alts, the portals don't last as long, very few bloods, Fellslate, or Starlight Rose drop anymore, so you're forced to summon the large epic lieutenants more frequently just to obtain a lump sum of portal beacons, which isn't fun because they take so long to kill and put the portal spawns on cooldown for 3 minutes.
Yeah, and previously you didn't even need to summon the lieutenants, as you were able to infinitely summon the smaller portals and just kill the mid-range guys over and over and over again, because these portal beacons dropped like hotcakes before, but they no longer drop like that. So you like she said, you have to summon the large epic lieutenants now just to get those portal beacons to drop. So really puts a damper on things with that 3-minute cooldown. And that pretty much leaves us to where we are today with the Sentinax farm. So what can you expect from this farm today? Well, you should get approximately 5,000 nether shards in an hour, which still isn't too bad since 5,000 shards is the cost for an 880 plus piece of gear, and it's also 8,000 shards for a nether shard essence. So you're still doing pretty well in the end. But you are only getting a minimal amount of bloods, Fellslate, and Starlight Rose now, because you're simply not able to summon as many portals and, kill as many mobs.
So it's important to understand how to use the beacons so you don't waste them, as they are so limited. So let's talk about the different kinds of beacons. As you can see, there are 4 different types or rarity levels of beacons. The first tier is uncommon. That's the top section here, and these beacons are used to summon normal mobs that can be soloed. The second tier are rare beacons, and these are used to summon stronger elite mobs, which typically require a small group to kill and drop more nether shards.
And the third tier are epic beacons, and these are used to summon lieutenants, which are harder rare elites. They typically require a larger group to kill, as they have 300 million plus health. Some are 400 million. It's crazy. And remember, using these epic beacons used to be frowned upon previously, as they were not beneficial to the farm at all, and they just slowed things down. But that's not the case today. You actually do want to summon these every so often so you can get more portal beacons. And the fourth and last tier of beacons are actually used to summon gathering goods. And these are the three different types of those right here. The first one is Bloodstrike, and this will summon a cluster of Blood of Sargeras on the ground for anyone to interact with and pick. And the second is the Beacon of Petrification, and this is used to summon a cluster of Fell Slate around you for any miners around you to mine. And the third is Beacon of Fell Growth, and this one drops a cluster of Starlight Roads around you for any herbalists to gather as well. And because we're not basic ass bitches, we've also discovered a few tips and tricks along the way too. So a pretty big tip here, if you are using the Beacon of Bloodstrike, the one that summons Blood of Sargeras, please be aware that you will take a huge amount of damage, 160% of your health over 4 seconds, so it does happen really quickly, and you'll likely die. So instead of trying to heal through it, we found that you can just click the buff Bloodstrike off of you to avoid taking the damage altogether. Please keep in mind that this is a buff and not a debuff, so look in the right place, or better yet, just make a CANCELAURA macro like this and keybind it like the professional World of Warcraft player that you are.
Did you know that the colors of the beacons actually determine the location the portal will be spawned? I know, right? So when you first start farming under the Sentinax and start getting beacons, we recommend looking at the color of the beacon you are using. Follow the green line to see the portal spawns, and then place a marker down that represents the color of that beacon. For example, we just summoned a red beacon, followed the line here, so I'm going to place this red icon here so I know where all my red beacons will go in the future.
So this is extremely helpful because you can choose to only summon portals that are directly around you. Also, you won't be wasting beacons on portals that are super far away, or just basically giving them away to free to another group that's in the area.
We also noticed that you will often loot beacons of the same color of the portals you are summoning. For example, if you are summoning a bunch of red, orange, and yellow portals, you will be looting more red, orange, and yellow beacons.
And a really important one here, this may be hard for you people that just can't say no, so nice people need not apply. Okay, so having the proper group makeup is pretty important here, and also being a stickler on eye level can also help as well. Having one tank, one healer is a must, and for DPS we recommend having mainly ranged that have really good AoE. We've seen warlocks push like 5 million plus DPS here, so think twice before inviting that fucking rogue gumdrops. You don't need consumables here, most plebs don't use them, but you should consider chowing down some bear tartar, because each enemy that you kill, which is all the time, you'll get a speed boost, which is great for gathering portal mobs easier.
Make sure not to summon your gathering beacons during combat. The Bloods, Fellslate, and Starlight Rose beacons are best used after the lieutenant has been killed and the event is on cooldown for 3 minutes. Make sure your group has a good understanding of how this farm works, so positioning is good and beacons aren't wasted, so you're maximizing your nether shards per hour.
Another tip here, if you're not locked into your professions on the tune that you're farming on, if you have a tailor, you'll receive roughly 3 to 4 times as much cloth if you didn't have a tailor, and that's just as a level 1 tailor. And if you're an enchanter, you'll even be able to disenchant all of the soulbound epics that you'll be getting, and you do get a decent amount of them farming the Sentinax. Chaos crystals is what disenchants from these epics, and they sell for anywhere between like 150 to 250 gold a piece, so it's not terrible considering how many you get. But what's really cool about this is you don't need 2 profession slots to make this happen, since you can just pick up level 1 tailoring, farm the Sentinax, get more cloth, and then after the farm, just drop the tailoring and pick up level 1 enchanting to DE all of the epics and greens that you might get. So You can flip-flop these two professions around as much as you want, and that's what I've been doing. It's been working really, really well. So now that we've talked this topic to death, let's continue talking about it down below in the comments. Also, let us know what you guys think about this kind of video. We've generally done farming specific videos, TSM tutorials, like more hands-on, but we're thinking of uploading some different content to our channel, which may be general WoW updates, issues, or even just hearing us rant about the current state of the game or a specific topic. Anyways, these are just ideas at the moment. Let us know. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.